Welcome to one of my Runeterra highlight videos. I highlight a different deck almost every single day of the week. If you enjoy the content, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Enjoy. Let's jump into it, huh? So we've got another viewer submission here today that's looking to leverage a card that was recently buffed. So Jagged Taskmaster here, 2 mana, 3/2. That on Plunder, which means you get this effect as you play the card if you dealt damage to your opponent in the turn. Grant 1-cost allies everywhere plus 1 attack. So one of the things that's kind of neat about this card is, one of the things I love about Runeterra in general is that unlike a lot of other games, there isn't really a strict advantage to going first. And there's some decks, and especially certain hands with those decks, that want to be attacking second or attacking on even. So specifically in this shell, your hands where you have Jagged Taskmaster in the opener, you actually want to be attacking on turn 2, so that way on their turn 1, you can play out one of our many 1-drops and then attack in to start on turn 2, hit them, and then play Jagged Taskmaster with Plunder to get everything bigger. So in addition to having a bunch of 1-cost things here, they are pumped up with Jagged Taskmaster. We have Elise, which summons a 1-cost Spiderling. So these will get bigger from Jagged Taskmaster's Plunder trigger. And then at the top end of our curve, we're playing Twisted Fate as just a good value/interactive card, as well as Zap Sprayfin here, because Zap draws us a spell out of our deck when it comes into play. So Zap is always drawing us card advantage. We've got Stalking Shadows, Pick a Card, and Faded Memories here to pull out of the deck with Zap. And then we've got some salvages to draw extra cards. And pick a Card really seems excellent in this shell because, you know, you look at the curve of our deck, we're playing a ton of 1s for the Jagged Taskmaster, and our curve in general is pretty low. So you could pick a card, you know, as early as turn 4 and probably play all 3 of the cards that you draw on average on turn 5 or 6, where normally we have to wait till much later with Pick a Card to get that consistency in. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how is the point. I think we're just like always full mulliganing for Jagged Taskmaster. You lose the game when you draw from an empty deck in Runeterra. Oh, grabbed the bottom of the window by mistake there. Fixed.
Ready, aim. I've got us covered.
So I can share my notes up here. I play with Runeterra in windowed mode. I played with most games in windowed mode. And sometimes when I go to grab a card from the bottom of my hand, I grab the bottom of the screen here like this and it resizes it.
Finger on the triggers.
Easy open attacks here. Their start is very slow.
The weak don't deserve mercy.
Do I set goals to reach in terms of ranks? I do not. So if you're new to the channel, a majority of what we play here on stream is viewer submissions. So I'm pretty happy just getting to whatever rank we get to each month. Do this to start, see what we get. Pool Shark and see what fleeting card we get.
I'll shoot the wings off a bilge wasp. Someone deserves your bullet, girl.
I let myself get BM'd out of the game, Landon, so. Huh? What do I want to attack with here? I feel like I just kind of want to clear some bench space. No, they did it a few times. They did it a few times and I was laughing about something, so it's whatever. It's really not a big deal. I think I'm gonna attack like this, and then probably get Prowling Cutthroat down here as well.
Captain's orders. Bullet to the face.
I don't mind clearing out bench space. I don't mind getting some damage marked on them.
Please, Miss Rhea.
I really don't think decking out's a problem. Like, the last game's a good example of why you probably shouldn't worry about decking out, because, like, if you're going to deck out, you should probably be winning that game anyways, and, like, we would have won that game if I'd been paying attention. So don't make changes to your deck to make up for the fact that you made a misplay. Instead, just play better next time. I think I'm going to Prowling Cutthroat into pass here, bank some spell mana. I have both salvage and pick a card for next turn to use spell mana with, so banking some of it to make a decision later sounds great.
Eyes up here, or I'll cut him out.
I'll cut him out. Play Spooky Poro, because I don't mind trading him in combat here. They might also just attack with their Fearsomes, though. One of the reasons to not pick a card going into my opponent's turn is because if I pick a card going into my opponent's turn, what's the word I'm searching for? I could draw Jagged Taskmaster and then not be able to play it with Plunder. It could be worth just playing a 4-1 out here as a blocker. Yeah, that's true. Or 5-1, sorry. And I think I'm pretty happy letting them level their Kalista here and just trading off these boards. TBS Coke, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I'm pick a carding here. We're gonna have 7 mana next turn. It's a lot of mana. Try and gas up. I need to remember to be conscious of the number of cards in our deck after last game. You have murdered my crack shot Corsair.
What's that noise?
What's that noise?
Hey there. Don't mind the knife.
I'd follow you anywhere.
Of course you would.
Look at this artwork, Chad. Look at that. Look at how scary he is.
We could use a bite.
And then this Taskmaster comes down, and not only is this a fearsome blocker, but it's going to make all of my 1-drop fearsome blockers now as well. Yep. This deck's actually awesome. It's been really sweet so far. So, we need to dodge their spider that shrinks our board. Their spider that shrinks our board is not great for us. Nocturne's almost not leveled at all. Their deck is mostly just a bunch of fearsomes. It's playing Nocturne as a fearsome as opposed to a Nightfall card, basically. That doesn't really matter though, right? We're gonna play this Prowling Cutthroat and then open on lethal elusives.
Lucky you. I'm the last thing you'll see.
I think they're just doing it to knock because they're dead and it doesn't matter.
You won't deal it first.
Don't turn around. That opponent was a very good sport. Appreciate a cheeky atrocity at the end. Nobody makes them bleed their own blood. Nobody. We've not run into Whale yet. Both Whale and Avalanche have been a little bit on the downswing lately. That being said, this is very likely Go Hard Twisted Fate, which I assume is going to be tough for us. The Mulligan Stygian, looking for another higher impact card. Definitely keeping Aristocrat, Jagged, Stalking Shadows here. Morning Blevins. If you think this deck is sweet, you're right. I can't take credit for it myself. This is one of the many viewer submissions we play on this channel. Not Lampton, it was Landon. Was it Landon in chat? Username's Blur. Sent this core in, and it's been really reasonable so far. Interested to see how we do against this. I imagine Shadow Isles and Twisted Fate's gonna be real bad for us. I must get out of here.
That being said, this is one of our better starts here, right? Like, we're attacking on evens. I have Jagged Taskmaster on 2. You think this deck is sweet? Then you are right. Exactly. Nice. Poorly is the expected outcome. Yep. Hey, look, they burned a Go Hard. They also burned an Atrocity. Hey, Witch Hookerin, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Welcome everybody hanging out this morning, by the way. If you're new to the channel, like Witch there, I stream full-time here on Twitch. I'm here doing Runeterra stuff every, like 5 to 6 days a week. I'm here most mornings. We do usually 2 different decks per day, a lot of which are viewer submissions, like I mentioned. So you get a lot of variety here. I also have a YouTube channel that you should check out where I post highlights every single day of the best decks that we play, as well as full stream archives. I assume this emote is they're about to whale me. Make it rain. Make it rain. Some things die while others feel the pain. Make it rain. This feels like white weenies. It does, Bushies. That's a really apt comparison for Magic. Magic peoples. Very, very white weenie-esque. Second Jagged Taskmaster here is real good. That's a good read, Erdian. Atrocity likely means Ledros. Okay, play a Twisted Fate and red card my board so I can gold card your Twisted Fate. Thanks.
Store the rations! Shackle the prisoners! Deal me in. Who says I don't share?
I think I'm gonna pick a card here too. We'll have 1 mana banked plus 6, so good chance we can spend it all next turn. I mean, we aim to please here, Dark Confidant. Or should I with that play, should I Stalking Shadows and then play a 1-drop off of it and then open attacks next turn? I have pretty good open attacks regardless. I'm gonna pick a card and make Twisted Fate extra scary.
You won't feel it first.
So Touch Unfortunate here, won't be able to play all 3 of these. Do a Pump Spell? Glimpse, sure. That's a mistake too, right? They should block the 3-1? Yes, yeah, Jagged Taskmaster makes Elise make bigger spiders. Because of that everywhere keyword.
Keep up, keep up.
Keep up, keep up. Memories, all alone in the moonlight. Do 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 do.
I'm always up for a round or two.
I think I let this die. I think 2 extra attack is fine. I think I want to Fading Memories the Zap here to get more card advantage.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
Yeah, Stalking Shadows represents a Twisted Fate drop. And this kind of does too if I copy Zap. Would not be surprised to see them start with Go Hard on Twisted Fate here.
You pay! I talk to spirits. These are my rules!
These are my rules. I'm gonna level Twisted Fate. I give up the Ephemeral this turn, but getting to level Twisted Fate guaranteed seems worthwhile.
Looks like I'm on a hot streak.
Because even if they kill this Twisted Fate, my next Twisted Fate will be leveled. The KDA cards have a region associated with them, Heinstein. Look at the bottom center of the card. So there's five different regions on the 5 KDA cards. Also worth noting that leveling this here gets it that 2nd point of toughness when it levels up, so that way, that means it's able to,
Kill you, I don't fortunes!
I never miss.
I guess they killed Twisted Fate because they expect me to red card here and kill it anyways, so I guess that's fair.
people first. I'll be right back.
They were expecting me to red card and kill it anyway, so they killed it themselves. Whereas, if they Croaker this one, my red card would have killed their Twisted Fate and this Croaker. They'd only have a 2-1 left. So I think their play was very reasonable there.
The game. Go on then.
So this is going to die because it's ephemeral. But we'll have really good open attacks here.
Give us some room.
Whale's a little bit sad here, but even if they whale, we're pretty okay. They can whale, kill these, block here. This deck's been gasoline so far. The white weenie comparison to like go wide and keep lots of cards flowing is great. This might be the best pick a card deck I've played to date. Having 18 1-drops in your deck makes pick a card a real bust. Overall, I think I can definitely stamp exceeds expectations on this deck. The just general idea of having a ton of card advantage with endless 1-mana units ended up feeling super, super reasonable. This deck also ended up being incidentally very good at leveling Twisted Fate with our pick-a-cards and zaps and stalking shadows and pool sharks as well. I do think the SI control matchups, those Twisted Fate go hard decks, those matchups are just going to be tough. Obviously, you're not 0% against it. We had a good draw and beat it one of the times in that set, but I don't really think there's meaningful changes you can make to make that matchup favorable or even 50-50 without gutting the core of this deck. So I think if you want to play this, you have to just accept that that matchup is bad. The idea of glimpse over salvage, I could see that to a degree. I also don't know if I'm in love with that change just because we kind of solve problems that we have with this deck by throwing a pile of units at it. And even though opponents are going to have profitable blocks a lot of the time, making them block our smaller things multiple times is valuable. I also think what Get Wrecked there said is true, which is the resource efficiency of 2 versus 4 isn't super relevant because our curve is so low. That being said, Glimpse does also have the upside of being findable with Zap Spray Fin, and Glimpse notably doesn't toss 2, which can be a concern because of how much we're drawing with this deck. We can risk decking out in some situations. So, I mean, Zap doesn't have that low number of targets. We have 6-8 things for Zap to get. I honestly think this tossing cards from our deck when we can risk decking on occasion is more of a concern than that. But overall, I think this deck is really sweet. I think this is easily the best Jagged Taskmaster deck I've played recently. I also think if you like to kind of juke people during mulligans, one upside this deck has right now is because of that Twisted Fate Go Hard deck that I mentioned is a bad matchup for us, you actually kind of get to get people during mulligans with this deck because we're the same regions and the same champions as that Twisted Fate deck is being played a lot in the ladder right now. So I think you're going to get to queue into some people with this, and they're going to mulligan thinking you're a go hard control deck, and then you're going to flood the board with Jagged Taskmasters and Dorks and kind of get them on their mulliganing decision because of the archetype that you're playing, which is kind of fun as a bait and switch kind of thing on the ladder.